Ever feel like you're constantly under a spotlight, with everyone judging your every move? Yeah, me too. That nagging voice in our heads about what others think can be a real downer, and honestly, it's often built on a bit of a shaky foundation. Today, we're gonna peel back the layers of this approval trap and see how it fuels our anxieties. But fear not, because we'll also be equipping ourselves with some battle-tested tools to break free from this cycle and finally embrace our authentic selves. Think about it. How much time do you spend dissecting every detail of someone else's outfit at a party or analyzing what they said in a meeting? Probably not much, right? We're all so caught up in our heads, our anxieties, and our to-do lists that judging others usually takes a backseat. Studies in social psychology back this up. Most people are far more preoccupied with themselves than they are with us. Here's the kicker: that latte you spilled all over yourself at the coffee shop, the one that sent you into a full-blown panic about everyone staring, most people probably barely registered it, and the few who did, it's likely a distant memory by now. This is a prime example of how our internal experience can be a whole different story than the external reality. So how do we break free from this constant need for approval and the fear of rejection that comes with it? The first step is all about shining a light on it. Let's call it Operation Self-Awareness. We gotta catch ourselves in the act. How often are our thoughts and actions driven by the desire to be liked? This isn't about beating ourselves up, but about becoming aware of this powerful force that can sometimes steer us off course. For example, imagine you're at a party and feel this pressure to tell the funniest story to entertain everyone. But deep down, you'd rather have a genuine conversation with someone new. By becoming self-aware, you can choose the path that feels more aligned with who you truly are, even if it doesn't involve being the center of attention. Remember, the fleeting approval you might gain from conforming is just that, fleeting. It doesn't reflect the true you. Stay tuned, because next, we'll be diving deeper into how to detach from this need for external validation and start focusing on building our sense of worth and purpose. It's a journey, but the reward, living authentically and feeling that inner peace, is worth it. Let's get real about this one. We've all felt it, that ever-present itch, that nagging desire to be liked, accepted, and feel like you truly belong. It's a fundamental human need, wired into our DNA from the moment we take our first wobbly steps into the social world. We crave connection, a sense of belonging, and that often translates into a full-blown case of approvalitis. This need for validation starts young, way before we can even spell the word endorphin. Remember those finger paintings from kindergarten? Yeah, the glorious explosions of color that may or may not have resembled anything recognizable. Well, when our parents or teachers slapped a shiny gold star on that masterpiece, it wasn't just about rewarding our artistic endeavors, although hey, let's give credit where credit's due. Some of those finger paintings were truly impressive. That little star triggered a happy chemical party in our brains. Endorphins, the good stuff, flooded our system, making us feel amazing. Now, picture this. It's not just the gold stars. It's the praise from our teachers when we aced that spelling test, the high fives from our friends after we nailed that jump shot on the playground, even the warm smile from a stranger when we held the door open for them. All these positive interactions, big or small, fueled the same feeling, the feeling of being seen, appreciated, and accepted. And guess what? It felt incredible, like a warm hug for your soul. So naturally, we started craving more of that good feeling. That's how this whole approval dance starts. A constant quest for that next gold star, that virtual pat on the back, that feeling of being included and valued. The problem is that this dance can become all-consuming. We start living for those external validations, shaping our behavior and choices based on what we think others want to see. Okay, so this whole craving for approval, it's a double-edged sword for sure. On the one hand, it can be a real motivator. It can push us to ace that test at school, land that promotion at work, or even learn that cool new language we've always been interested in. We all want that feeling of accomplishment, that attaboy from the universe, right? But here's the flip side. This need for approval can also morph into this paralyzing fear of rejection. It's like a monster under the bed of self-confidence, whispering doubts and making mountains out of molehills. We start replaying conversations in our heads like a broken record, obsessing over every word we say and wondering if it sounded okay. Remember that funny story you were going to tell at a party? Suddenly, it feels fraught with peril, and you spend hours crafting the perfect social media post, only to delete it and start again because what if it's not good enough? And let's be honest, we'd all do this sometimes. We adjust our behavior like a chameleon trying to blend in, constantly worried that people are judging our every move. But here's the thing, that fear is often based on a big misunderstanding. Studies in social psychology actually tell us that most people are way more preoccupied with themselves and their own anxieties than they are with us. Think about it. How much time do you spend analyzing every detail of someone else's outfit at a party, dissecting everything they say during a meeting? Probably not much, right? We're all so caught up in our own heads, our own to-do lists, and our own social awkwardness that judging others usually takes a backseat. Sure, people might make judgments sometimes, but it's not happening nearly as often as we think it is. Picture this, you're curled up in a cozy armchair at your favorite coffee shop, completely engrossed in a captivating novel. The world fades away, the gentle hum of conversation and the rhythmic hiss of the espresso machine mere background noise. Suddenly, with a clumsy maneuver, your latte goes rogue, erupting in a spectacular geyser of steamed milk and coffee that cascades down your clothes. In that heart-stopping moment, a wave of searing self-consciousness crashes over you. Visions of everyone staring, snickering, or judging your misfortune flood your mind. Here's the truth bomb though. Most people probably barely registered the incident. Even if they did catch a glimpse of your latte-fueled disaster, it likely became a fleeting memory within minutes. This scenario perfectly illustrates the vast gulf that can exist between our internal experience and the external reality. Our minds are like master storytellers, weaving narratives around events, often amplifying them into dramas far grander than they actually are. So how do we break free from this cycle of seeking approval and living in constant fear of rejection? The first step is a crucial one, self-awareness. Instead of blindly following the whims of this approval-seeking monster lurking within us, we need to shine a light on its influence. Become a keen observer of your own thoughts and actions. How often do you find yourself tailoring your behavior or words based on a perceived need to be liked? Remember, this isn't about harsh self-judgment, but rather about cultivating a gentle awareness of this powerful force that can sometimes steer us off course. Once you understand its hold on you, you can start making conscious choices about how you want to act and react in the world. Imagine you're at a party, the music's thumping, and there you are, perched on the edge of a social circle, drink in hand. Suddenly, a pressure builds. That feeling you gotta tell a knee-slapping story to liven things up and become the star of the conversation for a hot minute. But here's the thing. Deep down, you'd rather crawl under the cheese platter than be the center of attention. That's where self-awareness kicks in, like a superhero with a cape made of self-knowledge. By becoming aware of this internal struggle, you can rewrite the script. Instead of forcing that funny story that you're maybe not even that confident about telling in the first place, you can choose a different path. Maybe you strike up a genuine conversation with someone new, someone who shares your interests in obscure documentaries or vintage vinyl. This might feel way more aligned with the real you, the person who thrives on meaningful connections rather than fleeting moments of party glory. Remember, the approval you might gain from cracking jokes and being the life of the party is often superficial. It's a temporary high, a fleeting pat on the back that doesn't truly nourish your soul. The real magic happens when you embrace who you truly are, quirks and all. That's when you start attracting people who appreciate you for you, not some performative version you create to win over the crowd. So ditching this need for approval doesn't mean turning into a heartless robot who doesn't care about anyone. It's more like breaking free from those invisible chains that keep you tethered to other people's opinions. Think of it as a major life upgrade, shifting your focus from needing validation from everyone around you to building your personal validation system. Instead of constantly seeking that external attaboy or attajal, tap into your inner voice, the one that knows your worth. Maybe you're passionate about protecting the environment. You don't need someone to pat you on the back for using reusable grocery bags. You do it because it feels good. After all, you know you're making a positive difference, and that intrinsic satisfaction is a reward all on its own. Sure, this journey towards becoming your most authentic self won't always be a walk in the park. There might be moments of discomfort, situations where you have to challenge societal expectations or step outside your comfort zone. But trust me, the payoff is huge. Imagine living life on your terms, expressing yourself without fear, and feeling this incredible sense of inner peace. That's the magic that happens when you break free from the approval trap. It's about self-acceptance, self-respect, and living a life that's true to you. And that, my friends, is pretty darn awesome. That's all the time we have for today's video. We've delved deep into the approval trap and how it can hold us back from living our most authentic selves. Remember, the constant need for validation can be a real energy drain. But the good news is, you have the power to break free. Start by becoming more self-aware. Notice how often your thoughts and actions are driven by the desire to be liked. Once you understand this internal force, you can choose to act differently. Don't be afraid to step outside your comfort zone and embrace activities that align with your true self. This journey towards authenticity won't always be easy, but it's worth it. Imagine a life where you express yourself freely, make choices based on your values, and feel a deep sense of inner peace. That's the power of breaking free from the approval trap. If you're struggling with the need for approval, there are resources available to help. Consider therapy, self-help books on self-esteem, or online communities focused on personal growth. Remember, you're not alone in this. So, take a deep breath, embrace your true self, and start living life on your terms. And as always, thanks for joining us on Minding Your Mind. We'll be back next week with another exploration of the fascinating complexities of the human psyche. Until then, take care.